WGAL News 8 at noon starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Susan Shapiro. 17 Americans who were on the cruise ship where there was an outbreak of hantavirus are now back on U.S. soil. One of them has tested positive for the virus and another is showing symptoms. Danielle Hamajan has the latest from Tenerife, Spain.
Well, this is the second day of evacuations, and no doubt Spanish authorities are breathing a sigh of relief because so far this very complex and carefully coordinated evacuation is going according to plan. Now, on day one, on Sunday, we saw 94 people evacuated from 19 different countries on 7 different flights. One more flight expected today to the Netherlands. Now, we were here yesterday in the early morning hours of Sunday morning when the ship first arrived, and it has anchored off the coast of this very remote port in Tenerife in the Canary Islands. It has not moved. Instead, what we've seen are crews in hazmat suits ferrying the passengers 5 at a time to land. Those passengers carrying nothing more than basic belongings like cell phones. And as soon as they arrive, they are then taken on buses to the nearby airport where they are hosed down, decontaminated, and then boarding repatriation flights back home. Now, we've seen, of course, the case of the American having tested positive for the virus. A similar story unfolding in France. The country's prime minister confirming that one of the passengers did develop symptoms on the flight back home to Paris. Today, confirmation she has tested positive and her condition is deteriorating. Meanwhile, the ship here by the end of the day will be setting sail for the Netherlands. On board, 30 crew members and the body of one of the deceased passengers. Danielle Hamamjan, NBC News in Tenerife.
A dozen stores at Tanger Outlets in Lancaster County were evacuated this morning after a contractor hit a gas line. UGI crews have now stopped the leak. People have been allowed back into the affected stores, but some of those stores may not have gas service until sometime this afternoon. No one was hurt in the incident. The Kissel Hill Elementary School in Lancaster County is closed today because of a power outage. A PPL spokesperson says the school on Landis Valley Road lost power around 7:30 this morning after an animal came in contact with electrical equipment. Elementary school students were taken to the high school where their parents were asked to pick them up. Lancaster police are investigating a shooting over the weekend that left one man wounded. Police say the man was shot around 9:30 Saturday night on East Liberty Street between Queen and Christian Streets, but is expected to survive. Police have not said anything about any suspects or arrests. A 16-year-old girl was taken to the hospital after a shooting yesterday morning in Lower Swedera Township, Dauphin County. Lower Swedera Township police say it happened at the Waterford Apartments on President's Drive. They have not said anything about arrests or suspects. The York County coroner identified the 15-year-old boy shot and killed Tuesday night at Penn Park as Daquan Harris. The coroner ruled his death a homicide. So far, no arrests have been made. Following the shooting, Police Commissioner Michael Muldrow said he is increasing police presence around the city. And he said drones and state police helicopters will also be in use. There is concern about the recent gun violence, especially involving young people. News 8's Taylor Hess spoke with one organization that has some ideas.
Ceasefire PA says that every shooting is an act of violence and often a preventable tragedy. That's why they're pushing for stronger laws and policies around this. The organization says it's helped the state to invest roughly $400 million into community violence prevention programs. Among their priorities, cracking down on the illegal buying of guns for someone else by increasing oversight and inspections of gun dealers to make sure they're following public safety laws. Advocates say many guns used in crimes begin as a legal purchase before ending up in the wrong hands. They're also pushing for secure storage laws that would require firearms to be safely locked away when not in use. Right now, Pennsylvania does not have a statewide law requiring gun owners to securely store their firearms.
In the most cases, when you're talking about youth violence, you're often talking about someone grabbing an unsecured gun from a family member, from a friend, or out of a car because they can't legally access it themselves. And so one of our big pushes right now is to get a secure storage law, which would require gun owners to just behave responsibly and lock up their guns to stop those firearms from flowing into youth's hands.
Next month, for Gun Violence Prevention Month, the group will be hosting their Advocacy Day at the Capitol on June 2nd. Back to you.
A man is charged after Ephrata police in Lancaster County say he left his 7-year-old child in his car for more than an hour in March while he played skill games in a smoke shop. Ephrata police say Jason Eddy told them he went into the business to use the restroom and experienced issues with the toilet, which caused a delay in returning to the vehicle. Police say surveillance video shows him on the skill games machine for more than an hour. PennDOT is set to start multiple projects today that could slow traffic. Crews will be installing a drainage system on Cameron Street in Harrisburg. PennDOT says the right lane of eastbound Cameron Street between Paxton and Sycamore Streets will be closed for several weeks. And crews in Lancaster County are set to pave a part of Route 462 over the next 2 weeks. Crews will be working on Columbia Avenue between Oswego Drive and Prospect Road in West Hempfield Township. Flaggers will be out on that stretch of road from 6 in the morning to 6 at night, today through Thursday of this week and next week. It's a cloudy, cool Monday here in the Susquehanna Valley as we look live from our Skycam network. Meteorologist Mike Susko joins me now. Kind of dreary out there, Mike.
Yes, Susan, we are seeing the clouds right now as well as the cooler weather out there as we go throughout the afternoon. But the rain has come to an end for the most part. Now we're going to be seeing some sunshine for your Tuesday before we head more rain as we go into Wednesday afternoon. That's our next chance for some rain across the Susquehanna Valley. Storm Team Live Radar Network looking quiet. You can see a little bit of clearing there, though, in western Pennsylvania. As we go through the day today, we do expect those clouds to begin to thin out across the region, including here in Hershey. Right now, it's cloudy, it is calm, and it's relatively cool. We're in the 50s right now. 54 for Harrisburg, the same thing in Carlisle, 53 in Lancaster, as well as York, and 55 in Gettysburg. Your next 12 hours showing, again, the decrease in cloud cover with highs getting around 64 later on today. We will have also a clearer sky later on as we go into the night tonight, but more chances for rain later this week. We'll talk about Wednesday's rain in a little bit.
New at noon, the California man accused of the attack at the White House Correspondents Association dinner while armed with guns and knives has pleaded not guilty to charges of attempting to kill President Trump. Cole Thomas Allen also pleaded not guilty to charges that he fired a shotgun at a Secret Service officer. One of his attorneys entered the plea on his behalf during the brief hearing this morning. Allen's attorneys are asking a judge to disqualify at least 2 top Justice Department officials from direct involvement in prosecuting the case because they could be considered victims or witnesses in the case. A new survey finds nearly a quarter of Americans think the April shooting at that correspondents' dinner was staged. The survey by NewsGuard found 24% of 1,000 Americans surveyed thought the incident at the Washington Hilton was fake. 45% thought it was real and about 30% were unsure. The survey found that responses were divided along party lines. Roughly 1 in 3 Democrats said they believed the event was staged, compared with 1 in 8 Republicans who said the same thing. President Trump will be visiting China this week. He'll be in Beijing Wednesday through Friday. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has been meeting with Chinese leaders ahead of the president's visit and says he will also be in Beijing for the summit. President Trump rejected Iran's latest response to the U.S.'s proposal to end the war. It doesn't include key concessions the White House had been looking for as the war enters its 11th week. News 8's Rachel Hersheimer has more from our Washington bureau.
President Trump is calling Iran's response totally unacceptable. Iranian state TV is reporting Tehran's looking to end the war on all fronts, including the fighting between Israel and Hezbollah, the Iranian-backed militant group in Lebanon. Now, the country is also calling for war reparations by the U.S., full Iranian sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz, and the release of seized assets. Now, President Trump's latest proposal includes reopening the strait and rolling back Iran's nuclear program. Earlier Sunday, he wrote in part on social media, Iran has been playing games with the United States and the rest of of the world for 47 years, adding they will be laughing no longer. Shortly after President Trump rejected Iran's counteroffer, oil prices soared more than 4% to about $105 per barrel. Energy Secretary Chris Wright was asked yesterday if he would be open to suspending the federal gas tax as prices continue to climb, and he said the administration is open to all ideas. In Washington, Rachel Hersheimer, WGAL News 8.